Danimal Daniel Jobber's Wrestlemania 33 results and review show. What you gonna do? Watch it. You watch it. That's what you do. You better watch it, man.
What's up, wrestling fans? This is the D-Job Danimal Daniel Jobber here with my WrestleMania 33 results and review show. WrestleMania 33 is come and gone. And wow, it's hard to believe. It's been a long WrestleMania week. Looked forward to it for so long, and now it's the anticlimactic time. But here we go. It's time for review and reactions and, of course, the results. And I'm ready to go. Give me the green light. I'm ready to go, 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 go. Give me the green light. I'm ready to go, 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 go. Give me the green light. You betcha. It's time to review WrestleMania 33, the ultimate thrill ride. Overall, WrestleMania weekend was pretty good. The Hall of Fame show really gained even a new and deeper respect for Kurt Angle, watching his review and his induction, I should say, his speech, and going through some of the scenes in his career again. And I just gained a new respect for him for sure. Of course, I enjoyed Diamond Dallas Page and just some amazing stuff, including Beth Phoenix and the surprise inclusion introduction of her husband Edge, Adam Copeland, the Great Edge. So the Hall of Fame show was great. NXT TakeOver was a solid show, no title changes, surprisingly enough. Of course, we definitely saw the last match of Shinsuke Nakamura. The way he put on a good show against the glorious Bobby Roode and went out in style. So he's headed to the main roster. Raw, SmackDown, I guess we're going to find out either tonight or tomorrow night, but I expect. But pretty sure he's on his way to the main roster as we speak. And of course, Asuka retains, continues her winning streak and domination. Not sure when she's getting called up yet. She's still a cornerstone of NXT Women's Division, so it's hard to say. There's rumors that Ty Dillinger might be getting called up. That's cool. 10. That's 10 in my books if they decide to bring him up. I think SmackDown really needs the Ty Dillinger. So that's my opinion on that. And of course, the Authors of Pain retain the Tag Team Championships again, looking like monster heels, as does Sanity. And of course, Sanity got a little surprise of having Killian Dane in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on WrestleMania. All in all, pretty solid, good. Now, what, of course, I guess I shouldn't sell short the NXT debut of Aleister Black. I don't know, I just have to see more of him to become a really big fan, but it seemed like a pretty solid showing for him. Especially when there's word that Almas might be getting called up too. That might be his last match. So, we'll see. Anyways, I hope you all watched WrestleMania 33 legit. Or watching it at a licensed pay-per-view location. Buying the pay-per-view if you really want to spend the money, maybe as a group or something. Or for $11.99 in Canada. Or $9.99 in the United States on the WWE Network. Or, of course, maybe you enjoyed your free month and you're a new sign-up for the WWE Network. But all I can say is I hope you watched it legitimately and you didn't steal WrestleMania. Even heels don't steal WWE television, or any television at all. Don't be worse than a heel. WWE Network is worth the money, and WWE is worth our support. Of course, the product we love, we should be supporting it. We shouldn't be stealing their programming. So, that's always been my thoughts on that one. So anyways, WrestleMania 33 from Orlando. 7 hours and some change of WWE television. Just over 75,000 fans in attendance. The biggest crowd ever at, I can't name this game right now. Boy, getting too much into the show itself. Named after the Citrus Bowl. I think the Citrus Bowl, yes. Named after the College Bowl that's held there every year. So anyways, let's get right into the card with the pre-show. First off was, of course, the match closest to my heart as Duke of the Cruiserweights. We had Austin Aries going for the Cruiserweight title against Neville, the Cruiserweight champion. Of course, first off, I'm going to say I want you to watch my Jobbing Out with Danimal Daniel Jobber Cruiserweight report, which is going to be done tomorrow night. I'm not going to say too much about this match, just going to touch on it. for the most part, but of course I'll go in with a fine-tooth comb tomorrow. It's a good match. It didn't appear that Austin Aries showed any signs of a shoulder injury, which looked like he may have incurred in a botched move against Noam Dar on Raw. Actually, it was on last week's Raw. I did touch on that quite a bit on my last Jobbing Out episode. Check it out on my YouTube channel if you're curious. But anyways, I didn't see any sign of an injury or anything like that. Didn't see any botches in this show either, so that was good. But I do wonder if the result had something to do with maybe the fact that he did botch that move. Maybe it was sort of a punishment, making him wait a little bit for the Cruiserweight title. Because really, I was expecting Austin Aries to win the title here. Anyways, it was a good match. Of course, I said I'll cover it a little later on my Jobbing Out, but there's no botches. They did all their moves. The heat-seeking missile, a 450 splash from Austin Aries, the discus 5-arm, almost out of nowhere. It was really surprising there. And of course, the signature submission holds. And Neville wins with a red arrow. I gave it a B-, one of the better matches on the card. Thought it could have almost been on the main show, but there's just so many good matches on the main show, so yeah, B-. Nothing too bad. Not the best match on the show, but pretty darn close. So, and then of course we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and yeah, this was really surprising. I mean, this is Big Show's last WrestleMania. Some thought it'd be an amazing showing from him, and of course, this match was rumored to be one to elevate Braun Strowman. Roar! Because of the fact that he's a rising heel, and of course getting him back a little bit for his loss to Roman Reigns on Fastlane. But it was nothing like that, which was really weird. I mean, of course there was rumors that they were going to leave out some of the people from this match, but that didn't happen at all. The entire roster that wasn't on the show was pretty much present, with the exception of Samoa Joe, and of course they didn't bring back Finn Balor, but that wasn't surprising at all. Yeah, pretty much everybody. The Usos were there. The SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the American Alpha, the former champions, and the number one contenders. Titus O'Neil, Bo Dallas. Anybody who wasn't on the main matches was pretty much in this match. And it was kind of a mess, but it was an entertaining mess. I mean, Battle Royals, I always like Battle Royals. They're usually pretty entertaining, and it went on for long enough to be a good Battle Royal. Once again, didn't seem to be a lot of direction. And surprisingly enough, Big Show gets eliminated quickly by Braun Strowman, and then the entire roster gangs up on Braun Strowman and throws him out of the ring. So your two favorites gone just like that. That was pretty shocking. And then, of course, it was a mixed match. Killian Dane had a pretty strong showing. In fact, it came down to Killian Dane from NXT, from Sanity, as I was mentioning before. Pretty good showing. It came down to him, Jinder Mahal, and Mojo Rawley. Are you hyped? And really, that's where you get to see the point of the match, I guess, although it was questionable. Outside of the ring, Jinder Mahal and Mojo Rawley go through the ropes, not over the top rope, and they're battling outside. And then there's Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk, yelling for Mojo Rawley to do well, kind of taunting to Jinder Mahal, leaving him alone and that kind of thing. And Jinder Mahal gets all up in Rob Gronkowski's grill, taunts him a little bit, grabs his drink, pours it in his mouth, spits it all over the place, and throws the cup back at Gronkowski to taunt him, and then walks away back into the ring with Mojo Rawley. And that was it. Gronkowski decided it's time for him to have his WrestleMania moment, and he jumps the railing, and he hops into the ring, and he does an NFL-worthy hit on Jinder Mahal. And, of course, then him and Mojo Rawley, they're good friends, have a little bit of a five there, and then Mojo Rawley says, "I got this, man." And Mojo Rawley proceeds to throw out Killian Dane and finally Jinder Mahal to win the 4th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Yeah, what the heck? I mean, Mojo Rawley's fun to watch, one of my favorites. No knock to him, but this was one of the worst matches on the card because really it didn't seem to have any long-term planning or potential to it. As much as I like Mojo Rawley, I don't expect him to have a major run as a major superstar in WWE in the way Braun Strowman should have. And of course, Big Show almost retiring. I mean, he did win a couple of years ago, though, so Big Show wasn't as big of a deal. But having such a weak showing, kind of disappointing. And even Mark Henry didn't last that long either, which is also kind of disappointing because he's winding down his career as well. But Mojo Rawley, it's what it is. I think really it was just a shot to get Rob Gronkowski on WWE TV get a little mainstream publicity, sell WrestleMania up a little bit. And it probably worked. Rob Gronkowski, the New England Patriots star tight end, fortunately missing the Super Bowl this year, which was so disappointing, but they won it anyway, so what the heck. Yeah, he's talked about being a WWE superstar in the future, that he wants to get involved in WWE, and it's also a good chance to introduce him, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, Mojo Rawley, I guess, just being friends with Gronkowski, he's the beneficiary in this match. So, anyways, I won't say any more about that. I gave the match... I think I gave it a D minus. Yeah, I figured it was a D minus. I always find Battle Royals entertaining, but this one didn't have a lot of long-term direction or planning. Didn't seem to elevate anybody that's going to really benefit from it. So, yeah, it's just a D minus. Average, entertaining, fun Battle Royal to get the crowd into even more into the show during the pre-show. And not much more than that. And finally, the surprise, and maybe even a bit of a disappointment, the Intercontinental title being relegated to the pre-show. Rather surprising. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. I was really hoping a little more for it anyways. But anyways, Dean Ambrose defends the Intercontinental title against Baron Corbin on the pre-show. Yeah, and this was not a bad match at all. I mean, the only reason it's maybe considered one of the worst matches on the card is because I really didn't do a lot for the WWE, I guess, in the Intercontinental title in the long run. It did establish Dean Ambrose as a tough champion, though. But anyways, not a bad match. Quite a slugfest between two pretty good performers. Just disappointing that it was on the pre-show. And, of course, Dean Ambrose retains, but it's a good match. Corbin hits the deep six, almost gets the 3 count at one point. And then near the end, after Corbin taunts Dean that, "I'm leaving with your championship," then Corbin goes for his end of days. Dean Ambrose slips out of it with a little bit of a flip and hits the dirty deeds to retain the Intercontinental title. It's a D+. Pretty good match. And one of the better, to be honest, the wrestling quality is one of the better matches on the card because of the fact that the two slugged it out pretty good. But just, I thought that was a good opportunity to elevate Baron Corbin as the Intercontinental Champion. Dean Ambrose is a good champion, but really, he's not going to do anything long-term for the Intercontinental Championship. He's an established veteran, and people don't think much of him holding a title. I mean, it's good that he holds it, but he's got other roles, I think, to play in wrestling, and he's more of an entertainer than he is a great champion. So, but anyways, hopefully we'll see Baron Corbin finally get the title and beat Dean Ambrose either on SmackDown Live this week, or at least the very next SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. Because I really think Baron Corbin needs something, and I think put a title on this guy, man. Give this guy a championship. Let's see what he can do with it. He's been one of the top heels, really. I mean, SmackDown needs top heels. They're not exactly rolling in great heels, and they need variety because the heels they do have, are risking the show getting stale. So, yeah, get the title on this guy. Let's see what he can do with it. Dean Ambrose, nothing wrong with that. He's had his championship twice. He's been WWE champion. He's had lots of great accolades, man. And he's not going to suffer by not having a title. Let's get this title on to Baron Corbin.
All right. We are back. Sorry for a quick little botch there. I realized I wasn't wearing my headset. And, of course, the sound quality should be much better now. So hopefully the sound quality is much better. Sorry for the little botch there. But, anyways, that's all what it was. Now we are ready to begin the review of the main card of WrestleMania 33. And first off, of course, we led off with a pretty solid kickoff match. One of the better matches on the card, actually. Really, it was fairly solid. The match between Shane McMahon trying to school the young whippersnapper, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, in a grudge match. Of course, fueling from the SmackDown feud where AJ felt he was denied his right to be in the main event at WrestleMania, which he probably was, but it's a good match. Shane McMahon starting to look at his age a little bit, but he's still got it. He's still got some pretty good moves. And, of course, AJ Styles always has the moves for his age, even at his age. Put on a great show. One of my favorite spots was when AJ Styles grabs 2 trash cans, throws them in the ring, and attempts to do Shane McMahon's leap off the one corner or into the garbage can on the other guy in the other corner. And, of course, AJ Styles tries to do it, and Shane McMahon counters and takes him out. sets him up in the corner, puts the other trash can on him, and shows him how it's done, successfully leaping and crushing the trash can onto him. It was just a good grudge match. Lots of good spots. Just a fun, solid match. C. Give it a straight C. Good match kickoff WrestleMania. Not one of the best of all time, but certainly not a bad match at all. One of the pretty darn decent matches to start off WrestleMania. So anyways, that's what that was. Then, of course, we had the United States Championship. Chris Jericho defending the United States Championship against Kevin Owens, and of course Kevin Owens' grudge match, trying to get revenge on his former best friend. What can you say about this match? Those two put on another good show. Solid. Another solid C. Back and forth. Two guys putting on a really good wrestling match. Owens wins with his awesome powerbomb on the apron, which, of course, he's put people out of action with it, including John Cena and Sami Zayn back in NXT. And so after he did that, he throws Jericho back in the ring and claims the United States title. And, of course, we know that Chris Jericho is soon going to be going on the road with Fozzy, taking a little bit of a break. He may be around for another month, so I might see a rematch at the next Raw pay-per-view. I think it's Extreme Rules as a Raw pay-per-view before he does go off. But Kevin Owens going forward is your new United States champion, and it belongs on him. What can you say? Anyways, once again, solid C, good match. Then we had the Raw Women's Championship, the Fatal 4-Way between Nia Jax, the champion Bayley, Charlotte, who I've got to say I thought was the favorite in this match too, to win at a pay-per-view again, and Sasha Banks, who some speculated might turn heel and win the title with a heel run. I don't know. It was a good match. It was actually a C+. Pretty good match all in all. I mean, Fatal 4-Ways are lots of fun. The three girls gang up on Nia Jax and take her out first. They do a pile-up pin on her to get her out of the match, and then they go at it. Charlotte exposes the turnbuckle, and Sasha Banks runs into the turnbuckle, taking her out. And then it's down to Charlotte and Bayley. And surprisingly enough, Bayley actually retains her championship, which is really kind of a swerve because Bayley's been looking really weak. Ever since she won the title, it was almost like, what's the point of putting the title on her? She's going to look so weak. They ended the streak with Charlotte winning at pay-per-views, had Bayley retain the title, and she's really been a useless champion. So I think they were just swerving us. And here she looks like a relatively strong champion. So hopefully, going forward, that's the end of that, and we'll see Bayley, if she's going to remain champion, looking like a champion in her matches. That's all I can say. Another solid match. Really good start to the show there. I mean, so far there hasn't been any bad matches at all, in terms of wrestling quality anyways. Then we have the Raw Tag Team Championship ladder match. And wow. Originally I had speculated that we might see the Usos in some kind of an interview segment, acting all tough about being the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And that out of the blue might come the Hardy Boys to challenge them, setting up a great match in the near future, or maybe even an impromptu match and have the Hardys leave as the champion. But that didn't happen. Instead, once they announced the three groups or three teams in the ladder match, the champions Anderson and Gallows, Enzo and Cass, who many thought were over enough to finally get a short run with the tag team titles, and the odd couple Sheamus and Cesaro. But then out come the New Day, and of course there's a little bit of a swerve because the New Day is trying to make you think that they're going to insert themselves into the match as hosts. As they say, we've been informed this is now a Fatal 4-Way ladder match. But then they go, who's the next? Who could that fourth tag team be? And of course, for some reason they didn't do the whoo. Not quite sure why. They usually do that, and it's usually fun to watch. But they didn't. What it is, then they announce, so who's the fourth team? And then out of the blue, there comes the Hardy Boys music, and here come the Hardy Boys to a complete roar and marking out of the entire stadium. The Hardy Boys return on WrestleMania 33 to challenge for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Wow, that was a great moment, man. Even I marked out and did a video on my Instagram, as I usually do, about my excitement over this. And man, they sure made it a better ladder match. ladder match is usually pretty good to begin with, but with the Hardy Boys, they stole the show. Pretty much every moment was the Hardy Boys doing something. And then, of course, they set up this big, tall ladder, taller than the normal ladder that they would use to climb to get the belt. And Jeff Hardy jumps off and takes out most of the other guys, I believe. And while that's happening, Matt Hardy has the shorter ladder in the middle of the ring, climbs up, grabs both titles, and a relatively short but fun, exciting, thrilling ladder match. The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy, return to WWE to win, or at WrestleMania 33 to win the Raw Tag Team Championship. And yeah, even as a ladder match goes, this is pretty good. I gave it a B-, which is one of the best matches on the show. What can you say? It was great. And I marked out again when they won the Tiswell on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should consider. I do a lot of entertaining, I like to think entertaining bits anyways, on that. So anyways, yeah, a thrilling, exciting surprise to the Raw Tag Team Championship ladder match. And then we have the supposedly feel-good, fun, departing John Cena, Nikki Bella match of the show. John Cena and Nikki Bella in a mixed tag team match, defending their love and their honor against The Miz and Maurice, who taunted John and Nikki in many ways, including those little vignettes on the missing episode of the Total Bellas show where they made fun of John and Cena and how John Cena is never going to propose to Nikki even though she believes he will. And yeah, short, fun match. As you expect early on, Maurice and Miz get a little bit of offense, but as it comes down, John and Nikki start to steal the show, and they get to their synchronized finish, the 5-knuckle shuffle, and the synchronized attitude adjustment, get a double pin, and the ref actually counts with 2 hands, making it fun, and of course, John and Nikki win the match, and after that, as we expect, of course, the Miz and Maurice take off, and John Cena finally proposes to Nikki. I mean, you got to believe that they were engaged already, and this was more for show. But the moment we've been waiting for, watching Total Divas and Total Bellas, John Cena finally proposes to Nikki Bella, and it was I can't help it, it was a beautiful moment. Nikki was just kissing John like crazy, and I mean, I enjoyed John's proposal. I mean, it might corny because John and Nikki are my favorite WWE couple. I don't know. Some WrestleMania reviewers call into question the negative views on marriage, whether it's for them. For me, as a happily married man, I'm happy to see couples as in love as them get engaged. Who knows, maybe they could do it might be a little bit tough in somebody's stomachs, but maybe they could do a wedding, little wedding ceremony at SummerSlam. Who knows? Anyways, John and Nikki win. I gave the match a D+. It wasn't a great match. It wasn't a bad match. It was it was a decent match, what it was supposed to be, really setting up John's proposal to Nikki. And there was some fun heat in the match, of course, a good story behind it, so I enjoyed seeing that story wrap up, and I don't think the story's going to continue on much longer, because there's rumors now that Nikki's, because of her sore neck, going to take some time off WWE. Maybe that'll be it. Maybe she'll retire, and John Cena needs some time away to work on a show or something else. And I mean, what more can you do in the WWE than John Cena's done? So I mean, he deserves his time away, and let the other guys have their chance to shine. And if he wants to come back for great moments like The Rock does, great. But I mean, he's done all he can really do to make WWE great. It's time for other stars to step up and shine. That's all I'll say about that. And now the unsanctioned grudge match. That if this wasn't for this match, I don't know if the show would have been as good. This really was amazing. Seth Rollins versus Triple H in the non-sanctioned match. I mean, I totally marked out when I realized this match was going to happen, and that Seth Rollins was going to be well enough to take on Triple H. And of course, there's speculation whether it'd be a real match or a fight. It was a little of both, because they basically, on non-sanctioned matches, no rules. They could use weapons and everything. Yeah, and they just a long, good, drawn-out bruise fest. Man, Seth Rollins was selling his knee injury the whole time, and they used chairs as weapons, and they used the announce table, threw each other over the barricade. This match just, wow, pretty much blew me away. Wow, what more can I say? Of course, Seth Rollins, he did the best job anyways he could of selling the knee injury. It's not easy to make people believe that you could fight a match like that with a bad knee, but he kept going back to it every chance he could, and doing the moves he had to do the best he could without looking like his knee injury was was fine. There was even one spot too where he tried to do the buckle bomb that he likes to do, and so he grabbed or he flipped off the corner, grabbing Triple H, by the hips, and when he rolled over, he landed on his leg, and exactly the same way he injured his leg the first time when he had to give up the title, and he sold it like the exact same injury happened again, and of course the announcers made it sound like it was horrible, like he was supposed to land that way. And of course it wasn't really. It was just playing off the original injury, just selling the idea that he was nearly injured, career-ending injury the whole time. He does eventually hit a buckle bomb too, and I started thinking, oh boy. But I guess, yeah, even though he's the boss, Triple H does have all year usually to get over it, because he only usually wrestles at WrestleMania anyways. So maybe at SummerSlam, but of course Sting never wrestled again after the buckle bomb from Seth Rollins, so you made me cringe a little bit there. Anyways, as the match went on, Triple H was doing his figure four leg lock on Seth Rollins, and of course Seth gets out the first time, then they get out of the ring, and Triple H puts it on him again, and Seth Rollins trying to throw chairs at Triple H and everything, and he reaches out another chair out of the ring, and he pulls the sledgehammer out and tosses it, and grabs the chair, and of course the sledgehammer sitting there, and the crowd reacts, and of course Triple H sees it, and the announcers mention it. There's Triple H seeing his sledgehammer. He almost handed it to him. And of course Seth Rollins gets out of the move, or Triple H kind of lets him out of it, and he grabs the sledgehammer, and of course it looks like he's going to use it against Seth Rollins back in the ring, but Seth Rollins catches him with an enziguri and knocks it out of his hand, and then Seth Rollins grabs the sledgehammer and looks like he's ready to use it, but just as Triple H is getting up, Stephanie McMahon grabs the sledgehammer, pulls it out of his hand, and of course, as he just distracts Triple H, and Seth Rollins goes for the pedigree and hits it, and gets the 1, 2, almost the 3 count. Seth Rollins kicks out. Beautiful false finish. I'm not sure if you hear that in the background. It's my granddaughter Danica who's visiting. Shh. Anyways, hits the pedigree, doesn't get the 3 count. That's the one pedigree that does get hit in the match and before the finisher. Anyways, the match goes on, and of course, near the ending sequence, Stephanie comes up and grabs Seth Rollins as Triple H charges at him, and Seth Rollins manages to slip out of the way, and Triple H runs into Stephanie and almost knocks her off the apron onto the table a table that Seth Rollins set up before, but she hangs on. And then Triple H is, ooh, careful, don't knock my wife down. And he turns around, and Seth Rollins hits him with the super kick, knocks Triple H back into Stephanie, and this time she flies off the apron, through the table, knocked out. And Triple H is all worried about his wife, and then he turns around, and that's the distraction he needed, because Seth Rollins comes in and hits the pedigree. 1, 2, 3. There's your winner, Seth Rollins! Seth freaking Rollins wins the unsanctioned match, hopefully becoming the top babyface in the company. We'll see going forward. Man, it was just an epic story, great match. Definitely the match of the show for me anyways, and I think really that match, I think it went on for about a half hour. It was a long, great match. Really made the show, I think, in a lot of ways, because you can complain about many different things on the show, but it was hard to complain about that match. It's just a great story. That was a match that I was so worried wasn't going to happen, and then so worried it wouldn't be a real match, but they really pulled it off, and Seth Rollins really just gave everything out there. Can't believe his leg healed up that well to have that kind of a match. Hats off, Seth Rollins. Here's to you, man. I hope that's just the move you need to become the top babyface, because obviously it's not going to be Roman Reigns, most likely. I mean, they'll keep trying to push him, but Seth Rollins has the fans behind him now, and of course, renouncing his evil ways, that being fooled by Triple H and how he lost himself, and now he's ready to be the real Seth Rollins he's meant to be, and of course, it's a good way to get rid of all the negative and to usher in this new positive babyface era by Seth Rollins. Not sure if I mentioned the grade for that match. Can't remember if I gave you the grade at all. I had that match as a B+. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They're really the best match, the best grade on the card. I didn't give any match an A- even, unfortunately. Yeah, what more can I say about that match? It was great. hats off, Seth Rollins and Triple H. At your age, you still got it, man. You can still make a WrestleMania with one of your matches. And really, I didn't expect much else. I was very disappointed when I didn't think Triple H was going to get a match on the show if Seth Rollins was hurt. So glad that Triple H wrestled and that Seth Rollins came back to give that kind of a match. So, of course, then we had a little break with the musical numbers with the, of course, the band playing one song that I didn't know much about, and then the "Give me the green light, I'm ready to go" hit number. And I know I've annoyed you with that one, but I like the song a lot. I actually think it's one of the best WrestleMania theme songs that have come along in a few years, so I liked it. I didn't care for the necessarily for the concert show. I'm not a big fan of them. I guess people need a chance to go to the washroom and stuff, but really, I mean, they make sense that they're there, but really they don't do much for the show, in my opinion, except give you a break. So anyways, then we're back with the Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt WWE Championship match. And this is one I was waiting for a long time because of the well-built-up story between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. And I was hoping beyond hope that Bray Wyatt might retain the championship, that they might find a way to have him retain the title and give him his title run. Didn't happen. This match was rather underwhelming, somewhat disappointing. Bray Wyatt, not a bad performance, but still hasn't yet to win a match at WrestleMania. 0-3, I think they say he is. Randy Orton, who really didn't need another title run, slowly got the better of Bray Wyatt over the time. A couple of times Bray Wyatt went to do his corner crab walk thingy, that creepy backwards walk he does, and they were projecting maggots and death scenes inside the ring, and it was cool. It really made no sense. I was hoping that might be some sign that maybe Sister Abigail might come back from the dead out of the ring and drag Randy Orton down and cost him from winning the title, but it didn't happen, and there was no interference. No sign of anyone coming in to help Bray Wyatt or to change this match. No Luke Harper. No, Eric Rowan also didn't appear on the show at all. No Eric Rowan. Just a straight up match, and in the end, Randy Orton hits the RKO, beats Bray Wyatt. It was an RKO, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, yes, beats Bray Wyatt, wins the WWE Championship. Disappointed. I don't see any reason for Randy Orton to have won the title, but it's what it is. I guess they see Randy Orton as the big star. They want him to win the title. I hope Bray Wyatt wins it back on SmackDown Live. I really do, or soon, because Randy Orton doesn't do anything for a title that needs something. I mean, Randy Orton's a great veteran, great star, don't get me wrong, but he's had his title runs, he's had his runs, he doesn't need to hold a title again. And of course, the maggot scenes didn't make any sense yet. Hopefully, something's going to come of that at some point. It'll make more sense down the road. But it's a needless title change. Why Randy Orton? It's a D+, but it would have been better if Bray Wyatt would have found a way to retain the title. And in fact, I think the overall show would have been better if Bray Wyatt would have found a way to retain what it was. Then we get down to the nitty-gritty. The Universal title match, the long-awaited, hopefully final match, expected final match between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. And of course, Paul Heyman grabs the mic and does the introduction for Brock. Right at the bat, I'm going to say I gave this match a C+ for one reason, for making this match not suck, because it really could have. They could have made it a 30-second squash match for Brock Lesnar. They could have made it as boring a match as you could imagine, but they didn't. They actually gave Goldberg a chance to fight. They didn't give him any wrestling set. I mean, he did his spears and did his jackhammers. That was it. Match went on for about 4.5 minutes. Brock Lesnar hit 10, 12, 14 German suplexes and an F5. But it was a battle. Goldberg spears Brock Lesnar through the barricade, which was really cool. And at one point he hits the jackhammer and started to wonder, 2 spears in a row. Started to wonder if maybe Goldberg was going to do it again. Maybe they were going to keep the storyline of Goldberg beating Brock Lesnar on again. After he hit the jackhammer, went for the 3 count, or tried to get the 3 count. Once again, maybe you were wondering if Goldberg was going to get the run, but it was all just to make the match a little more interesting. And in the end, of course, Brock Lesnar, 10 German suplexes, 1 F5, what? And the match ends. But yeah, they didn't make it suck. It was actually a relatively fun short match to watch, showing that you can do a lot with 2 big stars. a lot of hype, a lot of story, and just a very simple moveset. Anyways, Brock, originally I thought maybe someone might come in and challenge Brock Lesnar, and they might pull some kind of a swerve to have someone different leave as the Universal Champion. But Brock Lesnar is leaving WrestleMania 33 as the Universal Champion. What are we going to do with the part-time champion? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. We'll see what he can do with it. Some say he's going to wrestle more. But he's already slated, I believe, to wrestle at Extreme Rules. So I think it's Extreme Rules. That's the next day. So I guess maybe he'll be defending the title right away. Maybe he'll even drop it then. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Although having Brock Lesnar lose the title at Extreme Rules seems a little bit cheesy unless they make it a really amazing match and story. We'll see. But anyways, it made sense. It had to be. We knew Goldberg. It was Goldberg's last match. We knew it. He had to go off into the sunset. I'd like to have seen a little better ending for Goldberg. I would have liked to have seen more brawling, more fighting, more back and forth hitting and pounding. And they did one on a little longer, but I guess they were feeling pressed for time, and they did what they did. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see Goldberg out into the sunset. He basically just disappeared after losing, letting Brock Lesnar celebrate a little bit with the championship. And I'd like to have seen maybe a little more for Goldberg. Hopefully they give him a proper send-off on Raw or something, because it's been a good run. It's Goldberg's last run. We know it. Let's hope we give him a good send-off, because he deserves it. He didn't have a lot of time on TV, a lot of great moves, but he came back and he gave us all some thrills and excitement, and yeah, what can you say? He earned his paycheck, for the most part anyways. He did make a lot of money for doing very little, but it was fun, and the crowd loved going, Goldberg, for the most part. The legend of Goldberg comes to an end, the hands of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar finally beats Goldberg, the one guy he has never been able to beat. Good story. The way it had to be. And to throw in a little bit of a filler, and surprising, they left the SmackDown Women's Championship match for almost last on the card, in between this match and the main event. And originally it was supposed to be on the pre-show, so what a turnaround, eh? And obviously the reason was Naomi. And Naomi won the title in fun fashion. We were all happy for her. Had to abdicate because of her injury. We're also hoping she'd come back and win the title here. She announced that she was back on SmackDown. This match was about her winning the title back in her hometown. Fun, quick, flying around all over the place match, almost worthy of a cruiserweight match, maybe even more cruiserweight than Neville versus Austin Aries. And of course, the main moment I liked the best was Natalya with her double sharpshooter on Naomi and Carmella. Don't see a double sharpshooter too often, with the two bodies or two legs stuck together and the two bodies hanging out. That was fun. Not much to say about the match. Fun match, back and forth all over the place. And, of course, in the end, the right thing happened. Naomi beats Alexa Bliss, making her tap out to her submission hold. Awesome victory in front of the home crowd. The crowd was cheering. Of course, Naomi I wasn't always a Naomi fan. I really wasn't for the longest time. But she really come out with her bright neon, glow-in-the-dark, neon green, glow-in-the-dark, just passion and the way she won that title. And I don't know, she won me over. And really, I was hoping in all hopes that she'd win the title here, and this match didn't disappoint me. And I don't think they could have with her winning. I don't think they could make this match horrible with her winning the title for me in her home crowd. But I gave it a C-. They actually did a pretty good job. It was a fairly quick match anyways. Almost like a cruiserweight, as I said. Finally, this is the main event of the evening. Roman Reigns, the big dog, versus The Undertaker! This match could have made or broken the show. Luckily, I don't think it totally did neither. It probably didn't help the show as much as hinder it, but it did what it had to do. This was going to be Undertaker's last match, and most of us knew it. Most of us believed it had to be. I think most of us, including Roman Reigns, might have even been disappointed they had to be the one to do it in the end, but it was what it was. Early on, we get a little bit of a feel-good moment. Jim Ross coming out on commentary. All the respect in the world for him coming out and doing this after losing his wife just a few weeks ago in that tragic, horrible accident. Still heard that some stupid kid texting and driving. What a horrible, selfish thing to do. Anyways, I won't go into that, rant on that again. And I heard today Jim Ross has just been signed to 2 years WWE. So Jim Ross is back with the WWE, hopefully on commentary. Here's to you, man. All the respect in the world. You're one of the strongest and I don't know, just all heart men I've ever known. Just so glad that you're back with us in WWE. Anyways, I like both men. So in the end, I gave it a D+. I'll just say that right off the bat. It wasn't the best match of the night, but it wasn't a terrible match, even though the two had a little chemistry issues at times. And Undertaker's looking his age. He's having some trouble. There was even a botched tombstone reversal in the match, and a botch with Undertaker. It's too bad to see in his final match. Started to look slow and a little bit old, and it's too bad he had to go out this way, but he had to go out. And I mean, he deserved to have a match. All we can do is look the other way and say it was a good match because it was the Undertaker versus a top star. And in this case, it happened to be Roman Reigns, my favorite wrestler. Anyways, we had spears, Superman punches, a tombstone by the Undertaker, and a attempt for the Rest in Peace pin, which Roman Reigns kicked out of. Roman Reigns speared the Taker through an announce table. Match had lots of good spots and moments. Undertaker tried to push, well, I don't know if he tried, but he slammed Roman Reigns onto the main announce table and it didn't break, possibly because he didn't clear the stuff off the top. Apparently you have to always do that to make the table break. I don't know why. And of course, in the end, Roman Reigns looks like he just can't put him away. Spear and Superman punch after spear and Superman punch. I'm being a little dramatic. There was a few. It looked like he was having trouble getting that final pin, but in the end, finally, the final spear, you could see the Undertaker was having trouble getting up, and he was ready to go down. Too bad he didn't go, telling Roman Reigns to finish him the way Shawn Michaels did to Undertaker when Undertaker retired him. That would have been nice. He didn't. They just had him get up all feeble, and Roman Reigns hit him with one final spear. Roman Reigns didn't do anything disrespectful like the Rest in Peace pin like I was hoping he would do to help elevate the heel side of him and the hatred for him. Just rolls him over, gets the 3 count. Roman Reigns barely celebrates at all. He solemn, doesn't say much. Crawls through the rope, starts to walk back to about midpoint of the ramp. Turns around, does his celebration for his fans that actually love him. And the fireworks go off everywhere. Beautiful firework ending. And then Roman Reigns, really not a lot of expression on his face. Puts his arms down, turns, and walks right out. It was the Undertaker's time. It wasn't his. Undertaker laid silently in the ring for about a minute or two as the crowd, maybe a minute, the crowd is silent and they knew what was happening. Finally, the Undertaker sits up, the crowd cheers, and he gets up on his feet, and he takes off his gloves slowly, takes off his coat, lays it in the ring, goes like this, and I say, Undertaker, no, you don't have to take the pants off, man, keep the pants. At your age, you can keep those, it's okay. And he takes off his hat. Sorry to make light of a solid moment, but I had a good chuckle when I saw him kind of grab his pants. I don't think he meant to do it on purpose. I think it was just happened to be, funny, bad timing. Anyways, he lays the hat down on the top, and giving the crowd a chance to cheer for him, and they knew what was happening. They knew it was his last match. They had a chance to thank him and chant his name, and he walks out, and he starts to slowly walk down the ramp, looking around at all the different fans, giving them all a chance to cheer slowly in his somber Undertaker, dead man fashion. Walks near the end of the ramp, turns around, and at this point there's smoke everywhere, and he looks at the crowd, and actually, sorry, he was facing the exit, and he does his arm raise, give the crowd a chance to have one final cheer. And this is where the moment where I think they really missed the ball. That with the smoke from the exit, and Undertaker sitting there all solemn, had his time, the crowd had a chance to cheer. This was the perfect point for Roman Reigns to come out through the smoke, hit the Undertaker with a spear, beat him down a little bit as the crowd absolutely fumed and booed and everything, and how dare Roman Reigns interrupt such a beautiful ceremony. And he could have cursed the crowd for, how dare you not cheer for me in such a great match when I'm retiring the Undertaker. Beautiful, beautiful moment in my opinion for a heel turn by Roman Reigns. And they could have made this match mean so much more if they would have elevated Roman Reigns to finally do what he appears he's meant to do. Make more fans hate him than love him. And they didn't. Roman Reigns never appeared again. He went in the back and didn't come back. Undertaker, after doing his moment, walks out into the sunset through the back exit, and they end WrestleMania. And it was okay. Like I said, it was beautiful. It was emotional. I had tears in my eyes, and I have my Instagram post showed how sad and upset I was. But yeah, they really missed a moment to make this match mean something, to make Undertaker's retirement really mean something, and it's too bad. I don't know why they just didn't flip the switch on this one. It was ready. It was beautiful. That smoke blocking the exit was just perfect. Would have been the greatest moment in WrestleMania history to have Roman Reigns come out of nowhere and spear, and I don't think virtually anybody in that crowd would have been overly, I don't know, would have poo-pooed in that moment, man, because even the fans that love Roman Reigns understand what he's going through and the adversity he's facing, and the fact that maybe being a heel might be a new way to express his character. I don't think anybody deeply would have been disappointed in this, but they didn't pull the trigger. Maybe they'll do it on Raw, maybe, but I'm not going to hold my breath because it just looks like Undertaker had to be retired and Roman Reigns just happened to be the guy who did it. And Roman Reigns didn't even appear when he was walking out to really want to be happy about being the guy who did it. He didn't have much expression on his face. It was very quiet. He just did his pose to give the fans a chance to celebrate, who were happy he beat Undertaker, and I was happy he beat Undertaker. He had to beat Undertaker, but yeah, it's too bad. I would like, even a huge Roman Reigns fan like me, who I'll love him no matter what he's like, really disappointed that they didn't take that opportunity to make this match, and Undertaker's career means something more by having Roman Reigns take him out. Oh well. Anyways, and that's it for the main card. I'm going to slowly start to wrap this up here. People missing from the show. No Samoa Joe. Didn't even put him in the Battle Royal or anything. Didn't have him come out. Didn't have him appear with Triple H or anything. Disappointing. He should have been there. And Finn Balor, of course, too, could have been, although being as a counterpart to Samoa Joe. Being both NXT guys, this would have actually been pretty cool. And in fact, that they fought each other for the title, and it would have been a cool moment to have them face each other. Hopefully maybe they'll do something on Raw tonight with them, because we know they're both ready to go, and they probably could have an interesting feud with each other. And I think the trouble is, though, Finn Balor should be the Universal Champion. That's the only trouble. Why is he going to go after Samoa Joe instead of the Universal title? I don't know, story-wise, how that would make sense. And of course, no Daniel Bryan, not a bit. No, yes. Just a little bit of the Miz teasing when he was attacking John Cena, and that was it. Thought maybe he might have appeared during Shane O'Mac's match to help out his GM. He might have appeared in the John Cena match to get a shot in on the Miz, but missed opportunity. I think Daniel Bryan would have added something to the show too. Anyways, what do I think of the show? You know, this is a strange one. Most of the matches were D's and C's. There was a few B's, but there was no A's, no classics that I could think of. I mean, the closest thing to a classic was, in my opinion, was Seth Rollins versus Triple H, the grudge match there. But really, there really wasn't a classic match on this card. But sometimes the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, and in this show, I really felt that was the case. The fact that there really wasn't a terrible match on this show from beginning to end, over 7 hours of content and not one really bad match, this really spoke volumes to me. And for this reason, I give this show a solid B. I agree with one of my inspirations, Aaron Rift of NoDQ.com. It was a solid B in my mind. Even though there was no match that really was a solid B. I guess maybe one had a B+, but... And if you average them out, there's no way you'd get any better than a C, but this was a solid B, because beginning to end, it was solid. Good matches all the way through, good wrestling, very few botches, very few mistakes. They could have introduced a few more people, brought in a few more stars from out of the way, but really they didn't need a lot. They didn't need a Rock on this one. There was so much action. They didn't need the Rock. I guess we really didn't need Shaq. I'm disappointed in Shaq, but we really didn't need him. We didn't miss him. This show is a solid B all on its own, from good wrestling beginning to end. In fact, it's probably as solid a WrestleMania as I've seen in years. Even though it may not have been an overall better show than WrestleMania 31 or 30, it is very, very strong in comparison because there was no bad moments. And there was a few advertisements, but no long backstage segments and very little filler. Just good wrestling, man. If you haven't seen this WrestleMania, watch it, man. There's not a lot of bad moments in it. You'll enjoy it probably from beginning to end. We'll even watch the pre-show. What the heck? And maybe skip through some of the talking and get right to the matches. But from the beginning of the pre-shows, the matches, straight through to the end of the card, solid show. And of course, we saw the the swan song matches of Goldberg and Undertaker as they both go off into the sunset, off into the next stages of their career. Emotional moments. Yeah, what more could you ask out of a WrestleMania? Like I said, there is one thing I could ask out of the WrestleMania. If, and this is the only two ifs I think, really, if Bray Wyatt would have retained the title, the WWE title, and if Roman Reigns would have had that heel turn moment right at the end there in dramatic fashion and totally shocked everybody as WrestleMania went off the air, this show might have been one of the all-time classic WrestleManias of all time, but I might have elevated it to an A for me, or an A minus even, but they missed those opportunities, so it is what it is. Those two small changes could have made all the difference in the world. Honorable mention maybe to the idea they could have brought out Samoa Joe and Finn Balor and had them kind of go at it, or they could have pulled a swerve to have Brock Lesnar give the title to somebody else in a cocky moment of accepting a challenge out of the blue. But really, none of that had to happen. But those two key things they missed out on made this show from an A minus or an A and an all-time classic to just a solid B. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I tried to make it as short as I could, but when you have this many matches and this much content, it's pretty hard. Anyways, you follow me on Danimal Daniel Jobber, D-Job, the D-Job, self-proclaimed Duke of the Cruiserweights. Follow me on Twitter at Daniel Jobber with a capital D, capital J. That's where most of my wrestling news and information and opinions and facts and a little bit of humor, maybe a lot of humor, are always there. Of course, on Instagram, I do a lot of videos and impressions and skits and promos. That's Danimal Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters. And I think you should follow me on Instagram, man. I'm awesome, if I say so myself. Little heel moment there. And of course, my YouTube channel where all this content goes, and one I use the most now, Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J, and a space in between, is my YouTube channel I'm using. If you search under it and click on the face, you will get my channel with all this content, including tomorrow night's Jobbing Out with Danimal Daniel Jobber 205 Live and WWE Cruiserweight Report. And of course, I have my website still, my pride and joy, DanimalDanielJobber.ca. That's DanimalDanielJobber.ca, where I keep this content in video form. Lots of fun stuff, and a few blogs and vlogs I've done over the years, and where I keep my 205 Live and Cruiserweight Division power rankings, which I'll be updating tomorrow night, or probably Wednesday, I would say, usually when I do it, after 205 Live. And of course, that's my 5th week in a row doing them now, so they're, or is it 4th week or 5th week? Might be my 4th week, I'm thinking now. Should be interesting to see how that all changes now, especially with Neville retaining the title in a surprising fashion there. So hopefully you're looking forward to that, and you check me out on DanimalDanielJobber.ca. And once again, this is Danimal Daniel Jobber, bidding you good afternoon, good night, good day, whenever you're watching me. Jobber out!